Hello, what is up, everybody? It's a new year, and I am Token coming to you live from the Road to Liberty podcast. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. We here at Road to Liberty, we took a little break for the last month, except for Hobbs, because Hobbs cannot help himself but talk about guns with guns people. So he went on right on through the holiday season. Hope you enjoyed those episodes of Observations. But as for Token and Hobbs and our regular interviews, we took a little break for the holiday season, but now we're back. It's a new year, and there's a lot to talk about. First things first, tomorrow is going to be a new episode of Token and Hobbs, but it's going to be sort of a special kick the year off episode. Ben Backus is going to join us. Mike Kniebel is going to join us. So just people who have been on the Road to Liberty podcast for the last year, they'll be on the show. We also have Jacob Hornberger, who's going to come on the show live on January the 20th. So make sure to look out for that. You can see all our upcoming interviews on the Facebook page in the events tab. We are booked through the middle of February as far as interviews go. And if you're out there and you're a candidate and you're watching, or you're just an activist in Liberty and you want to be on the show, we welcome all on this program. So that'll be exciting. But for tonight's episode, we have a fun episode planned for us today. We have the Fakertarians. They run a Facebook group that is all about calling out fake libertarians. And I have two of their admins with us right now. First up, Jordan Logue. Is that how you say your name, dude? Logue. All right, perfect. And also, John Hudak. What is up, man?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Now, I've been a fan of your guys' page, and especially your discussion group for a while. There's a lot of libertarian discussion groups out there on Facebook, but the one that I constantly come to for hilarity's sake is the Fakertarians Discussion Group, because you guys have like the most awesome mix of, let's call them, colorful characters running around that Facebook page of yours. So I wanted to get you on to talk a little bit about your page, talk a little bit about what you guys have going on. So I guess the first thing I wanted to ask, you guys run a Fakertarians page about fake libertarians. So what criteria do you guys use when deciding who gets put on that page?
I would say it's generally about someone who's trying to twist the libertarian message to promote an authoritarian viewpoint, whether it's someone from the right or the left. We call out a lot of people in the alt-right. We call out tankies. We actually had a former admin who kind of went Stalinist, so we've called him out a lot.
Oh my God. I think I know who you're talking about. You're talking about God, what was his name? I forget his name.
It's Matt. I always mess up the pronunciation on this. I've heard it's Kunal. It's Kunal or Kino or something like that, but I call him Matt K for short.
Yeah. K. Mr. ran for chair as a libertarian and wore every single button that he could get his hands on. That was pretty hilarious. I remember him. He got up on that debate stage, started talking about how rent is theft, and everybody in the crowd just started yelling at him.
He started the page with me when he was an ANCAP at the time. I mean, we had a few other founders too, but
yeah, that spiral to madness was apparently fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it was him and Josh Smith together starting the page with me.
Really?
Yep, and a few other people too. But
what happened? How did he go from Fakertarian ANCAP to tanky in a few short years?
So everyone was calling us socialists, and we're like, no, we're not socialists. And then a week later, Matt becomes like a mutualist. And then a bunch of people left the page. About a month later, he starts calling himself a libertarian socialist. And then eventually he handed the page over to me. So I had full control of it. But he went ANCOM, and now he's like celebrating North Korea and China and stuff like that. So I don't know what's up with that guy.
Yeah, I remember getting into arguments with this guy back in the day, and he pretty much said, yeah, man, we're going to violently rob people's property and we're going to take their shit. And if you don't want your shit to be stolen and you stand in the way, then you are the aggressor and we are going to kill you. That was essentially his take on things.
He posted something about North Korea recently about how like the reason they don't have like electricity at night is because they don't need it because they all get to sleep and enjoy themselves or something like that. It was something along those lines.
There was also he spent yesterday celebrating Stalin's birthday. That was a thing that he was posting about. There was also him talking about how communism in China has lifted a massive number of people out of poverty. Had absolutely nothing to do with China opening up to trade in the late 70s. Anything had nothing to do with that.
Now, is he one of those Stalin apologists who deny Stalin's atrocities, or is he one of those that makes apologies for it?
I think it's a little of both.
Yeah, because I see both. I see people who go like, "No, he couldn't have killed that many people because the Soviet Union's population went up slightly in 10 years, so that couldn't have happened." And then I see people go like, "Oh yeah, he killed all the kulaks, and they deserved it because they wouldn't obeying the government as much as they should have." So yeah, so I've seen both. They're both equally despicable.
Oh yeah.
So if Matt's doing both of those, I guess he's just doubling down on the nonsense that he's spewing.
The line he was using yesterday was that the CIA had spread propaganda about the actual death toll from Stalin. And the excuse he gave was that Stalin's treatment of non-heterosexuals was actually a CIA creation. Granted, this would have been at the time that the CIA was also, lying about their knowledge of drug use and the AIDS virus in the United States. So that's definitely something that they would have made up that Stalin was doing. That this is so bad that Stalin treated homosexuals this way. Please excuse us while we do the exact same thing over here. This is a lie that they wouldn't bother to tell. They wouldn't see it as a bad thing that Stalin had mistreated this community because they were doing the same thing and no one saw a problem with it.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is, when the Soviet Union fell, a lot of the records of that time were made public.
Right.
They're out there, and it proves, without a shadow of a doubt, the state's involvement in the murder, say, in the Holodomor. That was a state-sponsored killing of Ukrainians. There's no doubt about this.
Oh, yeah.
There's no argument about this, and denying that the Soviet Union committed those atrocities is no different from neo-Nazis claiming that the Holocaust never happened. So,
absolutely.
I don't know, man. Freaking tankies piss me off so much. They claim moral superiority over Nazis, while at the same time engaging in the same exact nonsense that Nazis do.
Matt's got that friend that runs a page called DPR of Korea is beautiful, and the juke idea is scientific theory. That's a fun one.
Is that a real page?
I just looked it up to get the name right. 10,000 people like it, and there's a group too. And the guy's totally serious.
That sounds like Beverly Hills Antifa. I hear that and think parody immediately.
No, it's totally serious because I feel like that guy was kind of instrumental in getting Matt to become a tanky because I used to see him show up on Matt's posts all the time.
Oh my god, the things people, it's like the same magnitude of freaking flat Earth theory guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So we were talking before the show started about pushback you guys get when you call out certain libertarians. You guys get any hate mail? And if you do, which fan bases are the worst? Like when you criticize X person, you get just the worst hate mail for it.
Oh God.
I think the worst I got was a couple years ago. It was actually right around when the page started, maybe a month in or something like that. I wrote an article going after Augustus Invictus, and I got this one guy in my inbox, and he was telling me that I was promoting violence against Invictus by calling him I forget what I even called him, because Invictus had some stuff where he called himself a fascist in 2012, and I called attention to that. Oh, I think he was mad that I was calling Invictus a fascist. So he was gonna like post my address everywhere or something like that. Like he found it because on one of my old websites where I used to write articles, like my domain registry stuff was public at the time. So he sent that to me, and he's like something like, "I bet you wouldn't want this to get out anywhere," or something like that. And then I just made a post on Facebook about him, and we've made fun of him in the discussion group since.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they've tried to dox us more than once, like recently. They just never get the addresses right.
And there was that one group, some kind of alt-right group, and they thought we were run by the Fat Mormon or something like that.
Yeah, that was the one that when Mark Kibler got mad that he threw a fit at the Ohio State. Was it? It was
the Ohio State Libertarian Convention.
Yeah, so he threw a tantrum at that and got kicked out. And then later messaged the page privately, and it was just a long, protracted thing. But he was messaging the page privately where he was like, "I'm not a racist, but the New Zealand mosque shooter did the right thing," or like, and we're just reading the story like, what are you doing? And then later that day, we found out that he was like posting our names into a private.
But one of the people in that private group thought we were run by the Fat Mormon.
Yeah,
we just kind of ran with it since then.
Yeah. So the story of the Fat Mormon admin was one of the guys in this alt-right group that was trying to was actually going through our friends list, trying to find any indication like that our of our addresses, because they were trying to like find out where we lived. And we ended up like actually having to like tell people on our friends list like, "Hey, by the way, a group of neo-Nazis think that I live with you, just so you know, be on the heads up for that." And they started within this group posting like business addresses and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd never been to any of the places that they thought I lived, which is cool. There's apparently a guy in Oregon named Jordan Logue who might have gotten his ass kicked, but it wasn't me. So
all this was because you criticized Augustus Invictus.
But the first thing was Invictus. The second thing was Mark Kibler, the guy who started the Libertarian Fascist Caucus.
Oh yeah, that guy. I could never tell if that guy was being for real.
No, he's real.
Like because he says, "Oh, this is."
Yeah, he's real.
He plays it off as a parody, but he's real. If you see the stuff he posts in private.
As soon as he figures out how Facebook privacy settings work, all of our material is just gone. He still doesn't know though.
Oh my goodness! Have you guys posted a lot about this dude?
In the past, not anything really recently, but we definitely have some posts within the last year or so.
It's more of a thing that like there's no point in kicking him while he's down, because what impact does he have anyway? And also,
I guess that's true, but I mean, because it's funny.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Do it for the funny.
I think the angriest we ever got like a large crowd reaction out of was the time that we posted the guy from, was it Virginia, the EMT?
Oh yeah, the EMT who
went on the white nationalist. He went on a white nationalist.
Alex
podcast.
McNabb.
Yeah.
He went on a podcast and he said it was fictional, but he was actually an EMT, and he told the whole story about how he was like happy to put a big needle in a black kid or something like that, and like watch him squirm. And then I think he ended up getting fired, but we got a big pushback.
He did, but we got a lot of hate mail for that one because apparently that link got shared to another one of the alt-right private groups. So a bunch of people on like with Pepe the Frog profile pictures and fake German names started showing up explaining like why we're actually agents of the state for wanting to get a guy fired when he worked for a public job. He worked for a public healthcare company.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I feel like there's a whole lot of these alt-right dudes who are all hang in the same group, and they'll find a page that says something they don't like, and then they'll just freaking pounce on it.
Oh yeah.
And it's happened to my page too, where all of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, I'm getting 20 guys posting the same 5 memes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I've even, one of them posted, like, way back in the day, that stunning brave chart that people like to post sometimes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But we made a stunning brave chart with a clown Pepe in the corner, right? And then somebody he posted it to our page saying, haha, you guys can't meme, using our meme to say we couldn't meme. And it had our watermark in it too. Guy, just look, I circled it. I'm like, do you see that watermark? That's us. So if you're gonna say we can't meme, fine. I don't require people to find my memes humorous. You can think whatever you want. But 1, make your own if you think you can. And 2, don't use my memes to tell me I can't meme. It kind of completely defeats the purpose.
I feel like it's always the alt-right too. I don't get that kind of pushback with like the tanky memes as much. A little bit, but not to the same level.
We get it sometimes. It's kind of annoying because there are some circles within the libertarian movement who are complete ANCOM or even tanky apologists. Like I remember posting me making fun of Antifa once. And this dude started calling me, this self-proclaimed libertarian, started calling me a fascist because I didn't simultaneously post a meme making fun of fascism. So to him, if I make fun of communism, but don't make fun of fascism at the same time, I'm a fascist, apparently. So that was fun. All right, so I thought I'd run down a list of names of libertarians we should all know. And you guys can tell me on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being pure, sincere libertarian, 5 being fakest of the fake libertarians, where they rank. All right? So, First one is very topical for today. Lincoln Chafee. Where does he rank on the Fakertarian scale? 5? All right, we got a 5 from John.
Absolutely.
Come on, Jordan.
Can I give him a 4.5?
Sure, fine. 4.5.
I mean, the guy voted for the Patriot Act. He supports the individual mandate. He's way big on gun control. Like, he's not.
He's not good. I'm just saying, like, I can think of worse.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to like leave the 5 for someone else, I understand that.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing about Lincoln. Like, you look at his platform, and we posted it his issues earlier today on the Urge to Liberty Facebook page. You just go through the list of issues. There's nothing in there that would indicate to you that he's a libertarian at all. It's just straight up Democrat, right? So it baffles me that so many libertarians are so desperate for somebody they recognize to run for president that they'll vote for just about anybody. Like, he's famous. Give him the nomination. Well, it seems to me like if you're going to be part of the Libertarian Party, which is not going to win, it was never going to win. We all know this. But if you're going to be part of a party that's not going to win and that bills itself as a party of principles, why would you go for generic Democrat guy? It seems to me if that's what you want, there's like 20 Democrats running. Go vote for one of them.
I feel like there aren't that many people beyond Sam Coppinger that want that.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say if we're only going for the sake of this person is like recognizable, we could pick more recognizable people that are better, like closer to like libertarian, that would work better than Lincoln. And like, yeah, they're not going to win, but like realistically, are any of them going to win? Like, it would be better as to put forward a principle of like the party rather than just like, look, this person who used to be able to hold office with one of the other 2 major parties can't anymore, and they're still trying. That's the message that we're sending by nominating these people over and over again.
And it's funny because no one really likes Lincoln Chafee. I feel like there aren't really like maybe beyond like a handful of people, even in like the old parties when he held positions, there weren't like big Lincoln Chafee fans or something, or Feel the Chaff or something like that.
Well, yeah, he originally get his spot in the Senate because he was appointed to it after his father passed away.
I do think it had something to do with his dad. Yeah.
So like he was literally handed the position of senator by birthright.
Yeah.
Is that no one's going to call attention to this? Like that's not great. Now he was reelected to it, but like this is a problem.
Well, here's the thing about Lincoln Chafee. Jeez, I keep pulling my headphones out. Yeah, he's kind of like the Mitt Romney of this libertarian run. Like, he's the old, safe, bland dude who nobody really likes. But because he's so safe and bland, everyone thinks they have to support him. It's like, oh man, we got all these different flavors of ice cream here, and here we have ice. Not even vanilla. It's ice. Just shaved ice. We have to vote for him. He's the only one that makes any sense. Why would anyone go for all these other flavors when you have shaved ice? And you put too much heat on him, he melts and turns into water. That's Lincoln Chafee. That's Mitt Romney. That's what I was going to say. Joe Biden, but at least Joe Biden's funny in the crazy nonsense he says. I mean, can you picture
Grandpa.
Lincoln Chafee? Yeah, can you see Chafee talking about his blonde leg hairs and how he loves kids jumping up and down his back on his lap, and how Corn Pop pulled a knife on him in the parking lot. Yeah, at least you get that from Joe Biden. He's funny. He's senile and crazy, but it's hilarious. Lincoln Chafee's not even that. He's just blah. Nothing's there. He's just the most boring candidate you can possibly have, which is, of course, why Sam loves him so much.
I think Sam values like the idea of respectability, like what he deems as respectable. And he's kind of correct in that no one cares about like most of the voters are not going to care about like policy or principle. They're going to care about, the presentation of the candidate, which in a way is true, but if you get someone who's actually looking for presentation of candidate, we don't have the manpower or the media reach that the other parties are going to have. If you're going to have like someone, those work for the two major parties because they have the machine behind them to broadcast this. If you get someone who's actually looking for a third party candidate, they're going to look for policy. And if they don't find a policy backing that they like, they're just not going to vote. Pretty much the default in American politics is that you don't vote.
No, pretty much. I mean, it feels like Chafee's doing this for the same reason Bill Weld did. This is one of the reasons I hated Bill Weld's run so much, is because the only reason he was there was to trash on Donald Trump, which don't get me wrong. I appreciate somebody trashing on Donald Trump, but you're not running for president just to have a platform to trash Trump. You're running to get votes for yourself and your party, right? It's like the only reason he was there is because he didn't like Trump at all, and that's why I feel Chafee's there. Like his whole thing is, if he gets the nomination, is to just attack Trump, which, okay, fine, cool. But I doubt we'll see him very much going against whoever ends up to be the Democratic nominee. And I anticipate him not even building up his own campaign all that much as he would be attacking Trump, which, like I said, fine. But if you're running for president for the Libertarian Party, you're there to get us votes, right? So do that. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to go the Bill Weld route and just take all of his media opportunities just to trash on Trump.
Yeah, there's just nothing that appealing about Chafee. I mean, I feel like he can't run on himself.
No, he really can't. Well, since we were on the subject of Sammy Boy, 1 to 5.
Whew. That's true.
Yeah, it's very true.
And in case Sam is watching, it says Sam doesn't read.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what? I would expect him to read that himself, but since he doesn't, in fact, read, he may not have.
Oh God, I'm
See,
trying to.
Sam's a tough one to me. Sam's a tough one to me because my problems with them isn't necessarily of the position. Like some of the positions you take are stupid.
Oh,
don't get me wrong.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's insincere.
No,
Right?
he absolutely means everything he says. That's part of the problem.
No, it definitely is part of the problem. Like for me, it's there's an old saying that conservative-minded people think leftists are stupid, and leftist-minded people think conservatives are evil. That's what I think Sam's at. I think he looks at anybody that disagrees with him on things as an evil person, just to be torn down and attacked, and gets really old after a while seeing this early 20-year-old dude self-righteously declare himself the god of libertarianism over and over again and just fucking trash everybody that doesn't agree with him on everything.
And then he loves Ronald Reagan. That's the best part.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest mix going on in his head. It's hilarious almost.
Yeah,
like I can't hate the guy
No,
because
you
it's just
can't,
so
'cause
funny.
He's too well-meaning for you to dislike him, but at the same time, his ideal libertarian is just every liberal Republican ever.
He had that post
Yeah,
where he was
it's-
supporting James Comey and John Kasich ticket or something like that for president. I think that was like a year ago.
Oh,
Like what is that?
Like Kasich, really? Like for a guy that rails against white supremacy so much, his only candidates that he ever likes are the oldest, whitest dudes that you can possibly imagine.
And half of them turn out to be racist.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
That's
like
the funny
a
thing about it.
secret-
But we're supposed to ignore that and focus on the good things.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You know, like with Ronald Reagan, focus on the good, ignore the bad. With someone like Murray Rothbard, focus on the bad, ignore the good. Is a funny thing he's got going on there, but you know, what do you expect?
When that quote came out about Reagan, I think he called like some Africans monkeys or something like that. I feel like Sam had like
interviews, wasn't it?
Yes, I feel like Sam had like an existential crisis. Like I remember him deleting a bunch of comments in this group of people going at Reagan.
Oh yeah, because people wouldn't let him live that down.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about it. When you're someone like Sam,
though. Like even before finding out that Reagan was like a racist explicitly. Shout out to Randy, one of our other admins.
Hey Randy.
He would constantly bring up the drug war is pretty racist, right? Sam would just always yes. It's like, well, it wasn't that Reagan wasn't a lot of that his doing. Didn't he also ignore the AIDS crisis in the 80s? Like, wasn't there a bigger body count associated with people dying of HIV and drug overdoses and everything else just within certain states in the 80s than there were in the entire Vietnam War? And there was never a response to that. So, I mean, expecting the one like behind closed doors conversations that Reagan had that, you know, yeah, spoilers, Reagan was a douche. Who could have possibly guessed? There were signs before that conversation leaked that Reagan had screwed up majorly, and the implications for African American communities in the United States was not a secret before that. So Sam got mad at like the soundbite, but not the policies that it happened to lead from. So
yeah, if he wasn't so insufferably self-righteous, it wouldn't be so bad. He'd just be another guy with dumb opinions about things. But yeah, I think he gets a lot more attention than he necessarily deserves. But hey, what are you going to do? I mean, we're even here talking about him right now.
I mean, somewhere on a boat in the Caribbean right now, Tom Woods is probably talking about him.
Maybe, but he's monetizing his haters and talking about Tom Woods. Where does Tom Woods land on the Fakertarian scale?
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
That is a very tough one.
I feel like there's there's a lot. See, there's a big part of libertarian movement that just adores Tom Woods. A big portion just hate his guts. And then there's a small group of people who are somewhat in the middle who are like, yeah, he's not perfect, but he's more good than bad. You know? So like I was introduced on Tom Woods because I read his book Real Descent, and I fucking loved it. I love that book. It's an amazing book. And then I listened to his show, and I loved his show. I listened to it like almost every day for a while there. And then all these people say, oh, Tom Woods is a horrible, filthy racist. I'm like, listen to like a few hundred of his episodes. I don't think he's ever said anything racist in it. But I mean, Tom Woods, to me, he's one of those people that like thrives on haters. Like the more haters he has, the more giddy he gets. You know, like he loves that. He's a troll. He loves trolling people and making people pissed off at him. I understand that because I'm kind of the same way. I love fucking haters coming to my page and giving me all kinds of stupid shit. But so I can kind of get that. But it does lead him to say some, say, ill-advisable things. So if we were going to rank Tom Woods, 1, sincere libertarian, 5, Augustus Invictus, Fakertarian, where does he land on there?
I'm going to go 2.5 because I think beside his immigration position is a little bit sketchy to me, but I feel like the rest of his actual policy positions are pretty in the libertarian camp. But I don't know, just some of the like defending Molyneux a bit kind of threw me off. He did rebut some of the criticisms, but I don't know. I feel like the way he does it sometimes kind of rubs me the wrong way.
I was gonna say
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't listen to his show, and I've never read any of his books. So I actually, and Hudak can back me up on this. I don't actually comment on Tom Woods all that much. I as a rule, if I don't know that much about a person, I don't know their policy positions or whatever else, I just shut up about them and let someone who has a stronger opinion than me discuss it. So I don't know that much about Tom Woods, so I'm not going to criticize him. I will say that anytime anyone ever talks about Tom Woods, 400 comments show up that
This
all
is true.
talk about his resume. So I don't know what that's indicative of in his fan base, but I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know enough to criticize the guy. So have at it. I will say on every platform available to me that Molyneux is an idiot, but that's not a reflection on Tom Woods. If I had a podcast, I wouldn't put Molyneux on it, but I'm not trying to get anyone to listen to me talk that often, so feel free.
I just wish he was a little bit louder about opposing those types of people, because I think in himself, I do think he has a libertarian mindset, but I feel like there's going to be, because he doesn't loudly oppose those types of people and might even be viewed as kind of appeasing them, I feel like some of his listeners can kind of go a different way.
I don't know. I kind of get it, because like, say I'm just doing my thing, like that guy that called me a fascist for simply attacking Antifa. You know, it's kind of like the audacity of someone to accuse you of something like that for something so stupid. It's like, God damn it. Sorry, everybody. I keep unplugging my headphones. Fixed. I'll try not to do that again. But it's kind of like the audacity of this person to lay such an idiotic and frivolous attack against me for no good reason. Why the hell should I give this person the time of day at all to even try to rebut this? Like, oh, you think I'm a fascist for not liking Antifa's random acts of violence against innocent people? Well, you're not a person worth engaging with. You're just a fucking moron. So why should I even bother? I get that, you know. But when he has been like, okay, but really, what do you think? He's like, yeah, of course. And like, that shit's nuts. Like a few weeks ago when there was that concerted simultaneous attack against him by all these different pages, but like, oh, well, he never said that he'd rather have Bill Weld than David Duke. And then all these screenshots come out of Tom Woods saying exactly that thing. It's like, yeah, when Forsgren, yeah, he would prefer Bill Weld to David Duke, but he's not going to give you the satisfaction of freaking responding to every little frivolous accusation you make. So I kind of get that. But yeah, it does kind of give critics ammunition, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's the drawback of having a trollish personality.
And then there is some stuff from 20 years ago, and I sincerely don't think he believes it anymore, but he did say some weird things. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have said weird things 20 years ago, but I kind of wish he'd be a little louder about being like, okay, yeah, I definitely don't believe this anymore. Like there was the
20 years ago.
Or it might have even been 24. I don't know. It's 1996. That'd be 24 years ago. But the thing about ethnic cohesion or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like, especially with something that old, you got to give people room to evolve a bit.
Oh yeah, you got to give people room to evolve. I agree with that.
Like when I was in freaking middle school, I was cheering on the war in Iraq. Like, yeah, let's go get them.
Me too.
Now I look back at that time and go, ooh, yeesh. Oh, God.
Right.
I really believe it. Like, I was thinking, oh, yeah, we need to implement the draft. Like, oh, yeah, I was straight up hardcore neocon.
Me too.
Back in the day. And then one day I'm like, oh, wait, that's not really, it's not right. That shit's stupid. Why did I believe that nonsense? I feel a lot of people go through that.
Like you're dumb when you're a kid. That would be my only thing would be, and I don't know what comments we're talking about that he made however many years ago. But it's different when you said something stupid on the internet in 2003 or whatever year it was because you were 11 or 12 or whatever. It's different if you have you're in your, I don't know how old Tom Woods is, but if he's in his mid 30s and he said something about ethnic cohesion, I would have some questions. Especially,
and that's fair.
Especially if he
I think he was in his 20s at the time.
He went to Harvard, right?
I believe so.
Okay, doesn't he have a PhD?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, if you have a PhD in history from Harvard or whatever his degree is, and you make public comments about ethnic cohesion, that's questionable. I don't know what the comments were, so I'm not whatever, but just as a statement, whatever.
All right, so let's move on to the next person on the list. Nick Sawalk. How Fakertarian is our dear chair?
Oh God.
Yes, this is another tough one because it's hard to tell how much of what Nick says and does is simply him playing the political game.
I feel like he's very troll-like, just like Woods, even though they argue a lot.
Oh no, I
is.
know he's trolling. If you watch his social media, you have to know that man is trolling. He trolls Tom Woods harder than anyone else on the internet sometimes.
It's the funniest thing because I feel like he knows how angry he gets. Like he has to know because people comment on it all the time. Like this. I feel like he, in his mind, growing the Libertarian Party is number one goal. So if he has to go on to the part of the problem and say, yeah, man, if Dick Cheney's the nominee, you got to vote for him. He's like, that's just going to get all these libertarians going, well, fuck that guy. I'm going to join the Libertarian just to say F you, Nick. And Nick's like, exactly what I wanted, man. I got all these people to join to say F me. Yeah, fuck me. Join the party to fuck me over. I feel like that's what he's doing. Like, it doesn't make much sense otherwise to say that
Yeah, that
if
was
Dick
a
Cheney's
bad
the nominee,
comment.
vote for him.
The whole party over principle thing, just, I mean, the Republican Party and Democratic Party are both terrible to me, but saying you would vote for Dick Cheney if he had an L next to his name is just absurd.
Yeah, because it completely invalidates the whole purpose of having a libertarian party. Because the whole purpose of having a libertarian party is to run small L libertarians, right? That's the point. But if that's not what we're doing, then why bother? I'll just go join the Republican Party. If I don't care who the nominee is, I'm just going to vote for whoever for the sake of a large vote total.
Yeah, I'm thinking back.
Nominee for president do eventually go and join the Republican Party.
Speaking of that, I'm thinking back to the 2018 chair debate when Josh Smith attacked Bill Weld and Sarek was standing up for him, and that doesn't look so great in hindsight.
But he's still here. Is he though? Well, I think that Bill Weld is still here. He's still helping the party. Blah 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 blah. And like a year later, poof, there goes Bill Weld off to the Republican Party, and caused endless amount of tears from dear old Sammy Boy. That was also pretty hilarious.
The time there was the rumor that Weld was going to go join the Republicans, and Sam wouldn't comment on it until the official announcement.
Yeah, he refused to believe it. like nope, not gonna happen. Bill Weld is too honorable to do that.
Denial is the first step.
It really is. So on the Fakertarian scale, I would put Nick at around a 2. No, I'm not one of those guys that think he's not a libertarian. I think a lot of the shit he says, he's doing it to rile up like the Mises folks and get them into the party. Because I don't think he cares who's in the party. He just wants bodies in the party. And if he has to say vote for Dick Cheney to get them in here, that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to pin down exactly what his policy positions are.
There's also that, like, if his plan is to get people to join the party to oppose him, wouldn't they just leave the party to avoid him? Like, isn't that more? Because it's a pain in the ass to join a political party, but it's very easy to leave one.
Not necessarily, because once you're in, then you start finding all these other dudes that you don't like. That you got to. I mean, you think a guy that joins the Libertarian Party, just say screw you to Nick, is going to look at Mike Shipley and think, oh, yeah, I'm fine with him instead. Like, no, they're going to go, oh, geez, there's more of them. I got to stay in here to make sure that all these other guys don't win the chair position. I don't know. Once you get into the weeds of Libertarian Party politics,
it's a shit show.
So cancerous in so many ways. It absolutely is. Here's one that you guys have posted a lot about recently. Dr. Kyle Varner. Where does he rank on your scale? See, this is a tough one to me because I've had him on this show many times, and I really like the guy. But when he talks about foreign policy these days, like, oh,
it's
come
bad.
on,
I
dude.
mean, I got to put him 3-ish or so because foreign policy is such a big deal to me. And he's talking about U.S. intervention in Venezuela. He's talking about how not that there's that many great senators, but he's talking about how Marco Rubio is his favorite senator.
Yeah, I got to go 4 on that one, boys. Here's the thing. I have friends that I work with who are from Venezuela, and as much as they hate the Venezuelan government, like, the last thing that they want is to see Venezuela become the next Afghanistan or Iraq. And they know that's what's going to happen if we topple the government again. So, intervention is never going to work, and the sooner we just give up the idea that that's how we're going to, like, if we just shoot hard enough, we'll fix all of their problems. It's just that's never going to work.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. I mean, I feel like his heart's in the right place here because he does a lot of work working directly with people who, like, he gets people out of Venezuela. Like, the work he does is amazing stuff. And I can get how that can blind you to what the actual effects of U.S. interventionism are. Because you're like, man, if we just went in there and bombed the shit out of Maduro, then all my friends can come in and take over the government and it'll be so much better. But then it's like, is it really going to go down that way? Do you really think that dropping bombs on Maduro's head is going to result in a free and democratic and libertarian Venezuela? Or is it going to turn into Iraq? Is it going to turn into Libya? Is it going to turn into Afghanistan? Like, what is the actual odds that it'll work out okay and make Venezuela better? From where I'm saying, I don't think that the odds are very good.
No.
But I think that's where he's coming from on it. I think he honestly thinks that, oh, yeah, bomb Maduro and all my libertarian friends will take over Venezuela and it'll be great again. I don't think so, dude.
I absolutely, like, I totally respect the idea that, like, you want to be able to help people, but who are you helping by sending in a military force which has an atrocious track record of civilian casualties? Like, we have a pretty well documented history of as many non-target deaths as we do target deaths from drone strikes. Why in God's name do we think that, like, sending in our military is going to help even the people that we're trying to help when historically we haven't?
No, exactly. It's the funny thing about, like, a lot of people who advocate for military intervention honestly think it works. And that's where Dr. Vaughn, he thinks it's going to work. I don't think the history supports that, and it wouldn't turn out well at all. Let's do another one. Jason Weinman. I know you guys are well
Nuke
aware
out of 10.
of. Yeah, nuke out of 10. I love it. Mr. Communism isn't evil. They're just misguided. They're just wrong about policy is all. They accidentally murder millions and millions and millions of people, and that somehow makes it okay. Or at least not evil. That's the take that I get from him.
Funny story. He when he first found out that who ran Fakertarians, he thought it was me because he didn't think that John would have ever done such good things.
Yeah, he thinks I'm a Nazi or something.
See, when you're that far gone, everyone starts looking like Nazis.
Do you remember the whole thing about how there's something like if we drop like panos on 100 bicyclists and it saves 101 bicyclists, would that be a good thing? And he said there wasn't enough information to tell.
God, I don't remember that, but that sounds like.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. I don't know if it was panos, but.
No, my best my most memorable interaction with him was when, what did he say? He said something about communists are preferable to Nazis because Nazis are evil, but communists are just misguided. So you can at least talk to them. Like,
at the point where someone is going
I don't think
to,
so.
like,
I think
murder strangers for no other reason than the point that, like, the guy in charge of the government told you to. The philosophy that the guy in charge of the government is using to justify the order to murder is irrelevant.
Like, here's how I look at it. A philosophy is only as good as what it produces when it has an opportunity. Like, libertarianism hasn't produced very much, but it hasn't had much of an opportunity to do so. There's never been a libertarian president, libertarian government in charge of this country, so we don't really know how it would work in real life. Communism has been tried many, many times, over and over and over again, and has a 100% track record of failure and murder. This is indisputable. So when your philosophy produces mass murder consistently, I think it's safe to say that there's something evil about that philosophy. Not just that they're misguided, right? Because if you continue to follow that philosophy, even though it results in the deaths of hundreds of millions, you're not just misguided, you're straight up evil. At that point, you just don't care about the people you kill.
Right. Well, with Mao killing landlords, it was part of the philosophy.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. And you talk to tankies, and they'll tell you, yeah, yeah, we're all about guillotine landlords.
Oh yeah, Matt K,
evil.
like we were talking about before.
Exactly. That's part of the philosophy, right? Killing people who are anti-revolutionary, murdering people who go against their workers' utopia, which coincidentally is me, you guys, all the other libertarians on the Libertarian Party, including Jason Weinman himself. I'm sure he won't be exempt from the guillotine if tankies ever take control of the U.S. But they're not evil, they're just misguided. And he'll be saying that to his dying breath as the blade comes down and the tankies laugh at him.
He's going to pull a nuke out of his pocket.
Misguided. He's going to pull a piano out of his pocket and just toss them at him.
The recreational McNuke at the last moment.
So I would say Jason's about a good 4 on the Fakertarian scale for me, because that is just an unforgivably bad take. Like if someone had reversed the roles, say, oh, the Nazis weren't evil, they were just misguided. Like, no, that's horrible. That's wrong. You're just a straight up idiot for thinking that. But for some reason, say the communists
very often. If you read our comment section, we get those a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I get that sometimes on my page too. It's funny because I posted a meme about fighting the Boogaloo against white supremacists too. Facebook apparently thought it was the most hateful thing and took it right down. But oh my god, the fucking white supremacists that showed up on the page in the weeks afterwards, which is just a flood of them. And they were mass reporting everything. Like, I got to break my no ban policy. I got to ban these people because they're reporting my memes. Like, fuck you guys.
We've had to boot people from the group for that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Here's the thing. As a rule, we invite people into the discussion group because we know they're going to say stupid things like that. And
shout out to Jimmy Wood.
Oh, God. Honestly, Jimmy Wood is not the worst person we've had in the group. John Carter was the worst person we ever had in the group.
When he banned the whole group within 4 hours of being in it. Or not banned, blocked. My bad.
Yeah, he so John Carter is actually
I remember that guy.
Yeah. For those of you who have never seen this idiocy play out, John Carter was actually a friend of Jimmy Wood. Jimmy Wood is Hudak, would you call him a neo-Nazi? Like, what would you describe Jimmy as?
Dumbass, but yeah, neo-Nazi.
But describing his political philosophy, he's a Holocaust-denying white supremacist.
He's the guy who thinks the Jews declared war on Germany, so it's okay for Hitler to go after them.
Yeah, and he's running for office in Oklahoma as a Republican. So if you're in Oklahoma, do me a favor, don't endorse this. One of his friends, his name is John Carter, and we invited John Carter into the internet group for the discussion group after he blocked me on my personal account for saying that Jimmy Wood is a fascist, because Jimmy Wood openly said he is a fascist. John Carter in the private discussion group blocked every single person who interacted with him within the course, or some people that didn't even interact with him. He blocked more than 400 people in an hour. And then made a single post in the group where he said that the Jews were responsible for the slavery in the United States and they were the cause of the Civil War, which the South should have won. He was then taking screenshots every 30 seconds of no one being able to dispute him and posting those to his personal page, saying that he joined a libertarian group and no one could possibly beat him in a debate.
Because he blocked them all.
Right, but he couldn't block the account of the admin using the Fakertarians page to comment. And in talking to the admins, he accidentally, he was posting excerpts from a book which he did not read. There's a theme among white supremacists is that they don't read. Sorry, Sam. And the excerpts of this book were he didn't know it was written by a Jewish author, explaining that
that's a big oversight.
You would think that he would read the name of the author of the book that he was lying about citing, right? but it was written about a Jewish author by a Jewish author about how Jewish people were surviving in the South before, during, and after the Civil War, up to about 1895-ish. It's been a year since I read this book. I don't know. But in the process of him trying to show us which book he was citing, he didn't write the name of the book. He pulled the book up on Amazon with his personal information down the side of the page, screenshot that, and posted it to the chat, or to the comments section under Fakertarians. The idiot posted his home address under a 4-hour-long torrent of white supremacist propaganda, including admitting his own illiteracy, and then posted his home address. And when he realized that we screenshot all of it, he deactivated his Facebook.
You know that? Do you know what a glitter bomb is?
I think I've heard of it.
You can. I'd have to look up what the website is, but you can go online and order somebody a package filled with penis-shaped glitter, and when they open the package, it explodes all over the room. So see, when some dumbass gives you, like, I had this happen to me once. Like, I'm a Husker fan, as you can see from my hat, and I'm on a lot of Husker fan groups, and we did really bad this last season, and a lot of people were angry. And this one dude took issue to every single person who would get angry at a loss. And he sent me his home address. He's like, come over and fight me, brah. How dare you say losing sucks? So he sent me his home address, and I still have it. So one of these days, I'm going to sit down in front of this computer and send him a penis glitter bomb.
We've actually been challenged to fights in group before. Mark from Ohio. What is his last name?
Kibler.
No, not Kibler. The other one. The one who had the Ohio State profile picture. Who he's friends with Kibler, I think, but he posted that he said something.
Oh God, what's his name?
But you know who I'm talking about there, right?
I'm picturing him right now, yeah.
Yeah. He would always say that, like, he couldn't answer our questions about any kind of legislation because he has to go cook for his kids. And at that point, it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast. There's no way that your kids are. But he challenged us to come to his house and fight him. Because he was like questioning. He was citing the Molyneux shit about race and IQ. And he was bragging about how smart he was. And I don't remember the name of the test that he said that he scored really high on, but it's a test that they give to children to determine whether or not they're disabled. And he was bragging about passing that test.
Guys, I'm so smart. I'm not retarded. Here's the proof. And look, guys, not retarded.
And this man, he has 4 children. I at least think he's in his mid-30s or 40s. And the best he can come up with to prove that he's not an idiot and is also genetically superior to black people is a test that he took in kindergarten to demonstrate that he was walking and talking as a developmental 5-year-old and he wasn't, like, disabled. That's the best you can do to prove genetic superiority. You are a worthless human, you prick.
Look, wait. So he posted proof that he could walk and talk at the same time as a 5-year-old?
That was the test that he was bragging about his score on. I remember looking it up. Because I was like, I've never heard of this test before. I know that because it would be something if he said, like, the SATs or the ACTs or a GRE or something like that. The MCAT, the LSAT or something like that. He was bragging about his score on a test that you have to take to get into kindergartens, and they see whether or not you have to be put into the classes for disabled kids.
It was Mark Nolan.
Mark Nolan, yes, that was him. That was his name.
You gotta know that this dude, like, that's the one thing he's proud of. Like,
right?
He's got nothing else. He's got nothing, no other accomplishments. But God damn it, in kindergarten, he got a good score on this test to prove that he wasn't mentally disabled. So, ha, black people, gotcha.
Mike
and then he challenged
Stott,
all of us to fight because he thinks we're vegans. It's a weird thing.
Did he send you his home address?
He commented it.
Oh man, you should screenshot that and kept it.
I mean, here's as a rule, I don't keep up with people who send us their addresses because if something does happen, I don't want legal responsibility for it. I don't do any of this crap. People it's a bad idea to have that information. I don't look at it. I don't want it. I don't save it.
Speaking of people who've challenged us to fights, though, Michael Stott, he told me to give him my location.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
He's the guy who's he's a half Hispanic Muslim who loves Hitler.
No, he denies being Muslim now.
Now he denies being Muslim, but
he still has all the pictures of him up at his mosque on his personal Facebook page. But he's not a Muslim, and he gets very upset if you reference that he's ever bragged about being a Muslim before, and he gets really pissed when you post screenshots of him saying that he was a Muslim.
Maybe he's just doing it ironically. Doing Muslim things, worshiping Allah, it's all ironic.
He said that the Holocaust didn't happen, but that it should.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, great guy.
Oh, gee, someone's gonna take that. Me saying that's fun and use it as evidence that I'm a white supremacist. God.
Yeah, as soon as he figures out that all of the Fakertarians admins live in one place in Wisconsin, we are all so screwed. Man,
he's just gonna start going door to door. He's going to go door to door in Wisconsin just looking for you guys.
We're actually all in one building. I'm one floor above Hudak right now. If you just, all of us are in a row. If he wants to go door to door in this apartment complex to fight every single one of us, the final boss is the fat Mormon on the roof. You can just handle the whole thing, fight us all at once.
And then
I'm just picturing him in a turban and a suicide vest and an AK, just the most stereotypical Muslim terrorist that you can think of, and he's going through, but I'm not a Muslim, guys. I swear. Not a Muslim. Look at me. Can't you tell?
Wasn't he the one who also tried to get us to debate John Cox?
Yeah.
But he only wanted to do it if he could film it and then not air it live.
You guys run into all sorts of interesting characters. I don't know half these people.
All the people who have threatened to sue us. There's a list.
You guys have a list? It's right here.
I mean, one of us is in law school, so I'm fully prepared for someone other than me to handle all of us getting sued. John, carry the team here, buddy.
No, there's been a bunch of people who have either talked about suing us or threatened to sue us directly. They have no idea what they're talking about, but it happens.
But they did pass a test in kindergarten that says that they are not mentally handicapped. So you got to give them that at least.
These are the people who agree with us politically. We have problems as a movement, guys.
Well, no, that's what it is. A lot of libertarians, they just hero worship. And libertarians aren't immune to this. Republicans do it. Democrats do it. Everybody has it. Most people have a tendency to hero worship. Hell, I do it sometimes. I'm sure you guys have a tendency to worship certain people. It's fucking crazy, though, when you worship a guy so much that just anyone that has anything bad about them is just, they're communist, they're Nazi, they're fucking vegan. I don't know. That's the worst insult of all, saying you're vegan.
Right? Sometimes we just we'll have the conversation, or we'll just have the thought of we should post about how the racist Ron Paul newsletters were bad, just to see everyone in our comment section.
Oh God, that's like posting about abortion.
Oh no, have we made a vaccine post as the page yet? Have we just unleashed that?
I don't think we have. That would be. That'd be Jason Weinman right there.
Wait, here's the we get into issues, especially because this is all of politics. You get into issues where something is no longer a matter of opinion. It's just a verifiable piece of information. It doesn't matter what that piece of information is. There is somebody out there who is going to absolutely reject whatever that information is, no matter how well verified it is. Like, not just in politics or in history or whatever, but like, you'll have flat earthers, you'll have people who deny evolution, you'll have people who like come up with conspiracy theories about how vaccines make you gay. Like whatever nonsensical thing you can come up with.
Vaccines don't make you gay?
I was trying so hard
for so many years because of that man crush I have on Ryan Reynolds. Just like, maybe this time, but no.
Man, come on, flu shot, work.
But
damn it, nothing.
It doesn't matter what it is. There's always going to be some issue of someone's going to be absolutely just in total denial about this piece of information, and it's kind of concerning that the Libertarian Party is just this drainage pool of everyone who rejects some, and this is true for all political parties, but like you see it more with us because we deal with it more, that people who deny certain pieces of information just kind of drain into the Libertarian Party in the same way that like you see a lot of people who are anti-GMO in like the Democratic Party because that's just the trend that they fit. You see people who deny evolution or like say that homosexuality is an abnormal abomination in the Republican Party because that's just kind of how the trends have gone. With the Libertarian Party, you see a little bit of every insane thing.
Well, see, a lot of that, I think, is because people with extreme beliefs are shunned in the Republican and Democratic parties. Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Republicans and Democrats who are just kind of milquetoast establishment types, right? The Libertarian Party is the place for all the crazies and weirdos to come in, right? Because there's not a lot of us. So the crazy and weirdos aren't just drowned out in a sea of blandness. They stand out, right? You go, if a guy were to wave around a dildo at the Republican National Convention, would anyone even notice? No, because there's thousands and thousands of people there. It's a fucking sports stadium that they hold these things in.
To take the cameras off of that guy.
Yeah, but if you do it at the Libertarian National Convention, where there's only a few hundred people in the room,
stage, and you might be nominated for a position.
And man, that's one of the funny, because I remember I saw you, John, on the Muddy Waters podcast, and they kept talking about, the performance art. I'm like, it's one of the few things I have to agree on Sam with, because no one's gonna watch dildo waving guys stripping in a thong, running around on stage and think, I can get behind these guys. That looks like a legitimate political party. I like them. And here's the thing. I like Vermin Supreme. I think there's a place in the party for Vermin Supreme. He's a cool guy, and he's a funny guy. Not a presidential candidate, though. Come on. And like he came up to Omaha to the Road to Freedom Convention. We went to karaoke with him. It was fucking fantastic. People in the bar were recognizing Vermin Supreme because he had the boot on his head. It was hilarious. So yeah, Vermin Supreme doing that kind of stuff is awesome. I don't want him to be the presidential candidate, though. And that doesn't mean I need to swing to the other side of the pendulum and support Lincoln fucking Chafee either, right? There's other people in the mix. There's a lot of good Libertarian Party candidates running this time around. So I guess we'll end it with that. Do you guys have preferred candidates for the Libertarian Party this round?
I feel like I'm not...
Silence.
It would come down to who wants to run. Like who's even.
I mean, out of the candidates who are presently running.
There's some good ones.
Or if you prefer, who do you really not like at all?
Chafee.
Yeah, well, I think that goes without saying.
The lack of hesitation in the response was great.
Ryan says Larry Sharp 2020. I wish I would support Larry Sharp in a heartbeat, but he's not running. So
yeah, he's not gonna run.
Nah, he knows better.
Is
No, there's a few that I like. I like Hornberger, we're gonna have him on the show on the 20th. So looking forward to that. I like Kim Ruff. She's a good candidate. Who else
I
is
did
out
already
there?
promise Spike Cohen that no matter who's president, I want him to be VP. So, love you, Spike. Gotcha, buddy.
I don't know much about Ken Armstrong, but he seems like a decent guy. I don't know much about. I'm gonna have to sit down and talk with him one of these days.
Yeah, that's it's out there right now. I don't know that much about. I don't really want to make a call on it yet without like. I sit down and when I actually am trying to make these decisions, I sit down and like read their platforms. I read their vote records. I almost entirely ignore all of their public statements because most like their politicians, their public statements are worthless. Look at voting record and platforms.
But see, that's the problem with libertarian candidates is they don't have no voting records.
So to the candidates that I definitely don't support, I just want to add Max Abramson to that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
He still won't answer my question on whether he supports a wall or not.
Oh, my goodness.
Can we put his leader on the list of please God no?
Oh, God. I forgot about him.
Is he even like a real candidate, though?
We don't know, but he might really bomb the convention center. Like, by his own statements, that's a thing.
Yeah, he's a candidate to do that.
Well, I mean, okay. I'd add to the definitely not category Arvind Vora as well.
Yep.
If someone straight up asked you, would you ever have sex with a 13-year-old, and your answer is anything but Jesus Christ, no, gross, what the fuck? If that's not your answer, you're wrong. Straight up, period. I don't care what else you say. And his answer was probably not. Sorry. That's it. No, that's it. No, you get the nomination. I am out of this party.
Do you know how bad it is that someone can advocate mass shootings within a school board, and that's not even like the worst thing he said recently? Like, what the hell, man? Like, why is this our party? Why are these the people that we associate with politically?
I don't know, man. And here's the funny thing: you talk to him, like actually talk to him. He doesn't come off as that bad, but then you just got to remember this is the probably not guy. So yeah, probably not gonna support him. Actually, scratch that. Definitely won't.
Yeah.
So as I would have liked Amash to have run because I feel he fits perfectly. He's principled enough and has the name recognition to pull you through. He's not just the name recognition candidate like Lincoln Chafee is. Lincoln Chafee is just name recognition, right? Yeah. And he's not fucking crazy weirdo like, I don't know, John McAfee. He's just a crazy weirdo. I would have loved Larry Sharp, but
Amash is probably going to rerun for his congressional seat, and he's probably going to get primaried. I hope he wins, but
I don't know. Libertarians have a very, very bad track record of winning these kind of races. Caleb Dreyer, Brendan Finney, Laura Epke all lost their re-election races when they switched to the Libertarian Party. And I know Justin Amash went independent, but let's face it, it's not like that's going to do him any favors in a primary there. So well, not a primary, a general election, because he doesn't have a primary anymore. So we'll see. We're at 17 minutes, guys, so we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
Why don't you guys plug your stuff before we go?
Well, we'd like to see some more people in Fakertarians Discussion Group, especially if you're like absolutely batshit insane or you want to see some absolutely batshit insane people.
That's why I'm there personally. Well, we forgot to mention Alibaba. That guy's a lot of fun.
Oh God.
Oh well, yes.
Speaking
Alibaba.
of pankies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, of the people that we've kicked out of the Fakertarians Discussion Group, it's a cesspool by design. You should feel honored that you were so bad that a group that we created to isolate all the worst people on the internet. There's a special ring of hell where you get kicked out of that group because we just can't tolerate you anymore. On that list is Ali, Anthony Macias, who is still currently probably crying somewhere that Augustus is in jail. God.
He's saying he's innocent.
Well, right, but he's also like, he posted that he was innocent from a National Socialist Facebook page. Like, he posted his statement of intent from natsoak.org or whatever it was. So it's just like, this is why he's not a Nazi, as posted from the National Socialist League of America. And I was like, might be a Nazi. Just throwing that out there. And he definitely did probably commit a lot of felonies, so have fun in jail, buddy.
Ryan wants you to bring up Anthony Macias. I don't know who that is. You guys know who that is?
That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Invictus's running mate in California.
In California? I thought Invictus was in Florida. Did he move?
But Anthony is a delegate for the Republican Party of California, and he nominated Augustus to be his associate delegate.
That did not work out.
Well, all right. So you guys have the page. You guys have the discussion group. It's an awesome discussion group. Like I said at the beginning, my favorite libertarian. I don't even know if you could call it libertarian. It's a cesspool of scum and villainy that's just kind of mixed together for this hilarious cocktail.
But
that's how I describe the group, because it's definitely funny, and I enjoy it a lot. I love your guys' page. Thank you for coming on the show. We got to wrap this up. 76 minutes was way longer than I anticipated us talking for. So once again, thank you guys for coming on the show. It's been an awesome episode.
Thanks for having us.
Never stop calling out Fakertarians.
Don't plan on it. Thanks, man.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.